My name is Micaela Lydon, and I do a variety of art. I have a background in drawing and painting, but now a lot of it is sculpture and just small hand building. I'm from Florida. This was my childhood library, Palm Harbor Library. So the biggest influence has been nature, having the parks that we have around here, and Florida in general, its natural beauty. That has definitely influenced my art, because so much of my art, whether I am drawing or painting or building, is very nature-centric and nature-influenced. So, yeah. Really, I'm inspired by picking anything up off the ground, conversations, poetry, sound, music, and really anything. But nature will always be what I come home to in any art making practice and any self-care practice. It's what grounds me and centers me. So yeah. Honestly, my favorite medium is not what I've been doing for this particular show or what I do on my downtime is graphite, like pencil drawing. That will always be like what I turn back to. It's so accessible. I can just pick up a mechanical pencil and draw anytime. So that's actually my favorite. But there's something that I really get out of building things and assemblage and making the shadow boxes that really fuels me creatively too. Definitely nature. I feel like I am a nature girl. So yeah, where I find inspiration, I was just at Wall Springs Park earlier today. John Chestnut Park is one of my favorites. Been going there since I was a kid. Even in the library, anytime I come to the library, I make a little walk through the garden. But also community really inspires me. Places like this, the Palm Harbor Library, communal sharing, like I teach workshops where we make art together, and I'm really inspired by the community aspect too. Yeah, well, one of my favorite things is when someone comes in and they say, I'm not an artist, or I don't know how to do this, but by the end, just the process of making it is, they've kind of surprised themselves and end up most of the time liking what they make. And so I think there's so many people that think they're not creative or they're not an artist, and I believe that we are all creative, and so that's always a really magical part for me, is when someone who thinks that they're not creative actually makes something and realizes that they are. So that's really exciting for me. It used to be in the wee hours of the morning, late at night, but the older that I get and the earlier of a riser I am, I'm finding I do get a big burst of inspiration earlier in the day, basically like right before noon. Up until like about noon, and but really anytime, I find the more that I'm creating, the healthier that I feel. So any reason to do it. Art, I think that art, like I was talking about earlier, where a lot of people don't believe that they're creative or don't believe that they're artists, I think the act of creating gives you confidence, because you're taking something that was an idea and you're bringing it to life. There's something about like creating and like manifesting something into the physical that I think does, there is like a power there. There's something that like fuels my spirit and also gives me such a connection to so many different people because we are all creative just in different ways. I feel like that's a through line where I can connect with almost anybody and find some common interests and find some creativity that links us. So yeah, definitely fuels me, keeps me healthy, keeps me active, keeps me connected to community, and it really is healing. So I would say it's healing on physical, mental, emotional, spiritual level. So I did go to school. I went to USF and got my bachelor's degree in art. It was definitely a concept-based program, so we didn't get as much into the technical, but still being in classes, being around professors and other artists, that's always gonna push one to get better. And I would say over the years, there was a whole span of time, about 5-6 years, where I was a tattoo artist. So working alongside artists, especially working alongside artists that inspire me and that I love their work, that was always a big motivator. And drawing every day, that was really, it is true, you can develop art skill. So I became a much better artist as the more that I created. And now I work with painters, and I work with, some of them are way better than me, which is amazing because I'm inspired by their skill. So but more than anything is really the frequency. It's just the habit of it. The more that I draw, or the more that I paint, or the more that I make shadow boxes, the better it gets.